single second. The razor-thin boundary between survival and death. Here in Uganda, hesitation is a luxury no creature can afford. Every movement is a gamble, and every mistake can be fatal. Danger doesn't only stalk the open plains, it can erupt without warning from the shadows beneath your feet. Welcome to Uganda, where every sunrise ignites another relentless battle for survival. Here, the mighty African buffalo is more than a giant grazer. It is the ultimate prize, a challenge that can determine whether a pride of lions eats or starves. At the heart of this untamed wilderness lies Queen Elizabeth National Park, nestled within the ancient Albertine Rift, a colossal geological fracture stretching for thousands of miles along Africa's western edge. Millions of years ago, this landscape was forged in fire. Rivers of molten lava and violent volcanic eruptions transformed the region into a hostile world of ash and flame. Those once raging volcanoes stand silent, their craters reborn as shimmering salt lakes that glitter beneath the African sun. The volcanic ash that once brought destruction has become one of the richest soils on Earth, nourishing vast grasslands that sustain an extraordinary abundance of wildlife. Yet beneath this breathtaking beauty lies a world governed by one unforgiving law: survive or perish. As the dry season tightens its grip, water becomes scarce, prey gathers in ever larger herds, and tensions rise across the savanna. Every predator knows this is the moment to strike. A brutal confrontation suddenly erupts. In an instant, the hunter's advantage disappears. The predator has become the one absorbing the punishment. The tables have turned. The Cape buffalo herd has transformed a desperate hunt into a chaotic retreat, forcing Africa's most formidable predators to abandon the chase. But for the lions of Ishasha, retreat is never defeat. Instead of standing their ground, they ascend into the branches of towering fig trees, revealing one of the rarest behaviors ever observed in lions. These remarkable climbers have turned the treetops into natural fortresses, escaping the relentless swarms of biting tsetse flies, while gaining an unrivaled view of the vast savanna below. From these lofty perches, nothing escapes their attention. Every movement across the grasslands is carefully monitored, every opportunity patiently awaited. The tree-climbing lions of Ishasha live in close-knit family groups, typically made up of one or two dominant males, several lionesses, and a growing generation of playful cubs. What truly sets these prides apart is the role of the fathers. Across much of Africa, Male lions lead turbulent lives, constantly challenged by rivals and often driven from their territories. But in Uganda, the story unfolds differently. Here, dominant males remain with their families for years, investing their strength not only in defending territory, but also in protecting the pride itself. They roam less, fight less frequently, and provide an unusual level of stability rarely seen elsewhere on the continent. As a result, Uganda's lions experience one of the lowest rates of male turnover anywhere in East Africa. Fewer violent takeovers mean fewer deadly conflicts and a more secure environment for raising cubs. Yet this peaceful family life comes at a cost to another master predator. As lions increasingly claim the safety of the treetops, the elusive leopard is being forced to surrender its most valuable refuge. For generations, leopards relied on towering acacias and giant fig trees to conceal themselves and cache their kills beyond the reach of scavengers. But now those same branches are occupied by lions. To survive, the leopard has been forced to rewrite its entire strategy. Rather than climbing toward the canopy, it melts into dense undergrowth. It travels beneath the cover of darkness, avoiding open ground whenever possible, and hides its prey where few predators would ever think to search. In this increasingly contested landscape, survival is no longer determined by strength alone. A true apex predator is not simply the one that can overpower its prey, but the one that knows when to remain unseen. Because whenever lions and leopards cross paths, the outcome is rarely in doubt. Even a single lioness possesses enough power to overwhelm a fully grown male leopard. Faced with such overwhelming odds, direct confrontation is never an option. The leopard waits. Patient, silent, invisible. Hunger, however, leaves no room for hesitation. As darkness settles across western Uganda, the hunt begins. The sun disappears behind the rugged Rwenzori Mountains, whose towering peaks form the natural frontier between Uganda and the Democratic Republic of the Congo. These ancient mountains shelter one of Africa's richest ecosystems, home to an astonishing diversity of wildlife, including more than 70 species of nocturnal predators. With the last traces of daylight fading from the sky, the rhythm of the savanna changes. The daytime chorus falls silent. In its place come distant mating calls, cautious footsteps hidden in the grass, and the near imperceptible movements of hunters emerging from the darkness. The night now belongs to the predators. As darkness settles over Uganda, the landscape undergoes a remarkable transformation. A different world awakens. For the great feline predators, this is the hour they were built for. Hidden behind each retina lies a remarkable reflective layer known as the tapetum lucidum, a biological mirror that bounces incoming light back through the eye, dramatically enhancing vision in near total darkness. While most of the savanna struggles to see, the hunters see almost everything. The disciplined formations that held firm beneath the sun begin to unravel under the cover of night. Confusion spreads, and even the strongest herd becomes vulnerable. For every predator, this fleeting window of darkness is priceless. By dawn, the advantage will disappear. As sunlight floods the plains once again, herbivores regain their sharp vision. Morning mist dissolves into the warming air, and birdsong signals that the night's hunters must retreat. In the African wilderness, survival is measured not only by strength, but by timing. Among the open grasslands roams one of Uganda's most iconic antelope, the Uganda kobe, the nation's symbolic hoofed mammal and a close relative of the impala. Living in large herds, these graceful antelope rely on extraordinary speed, agility, and constant vigilance to evade predators. But today, fortune favors the hunter. Two rival males are locked in an intense territorial battle. Their antlers intertwine as each struggles for dominance, neither willing to surrender. In their determination to defeat one another, they forget the one enemy that truly matters. Unable to break free and unable to flee, they have become easy targets. Hidden nearby, the leopard waits. It has learned that patience often kills more effectively than speed. Within seconds, the contest is over. Instinct immediately takes over. Every leopard knows that making the kill is only half the battle. Keeping it is something else entirely. Possessing extraordinary upper body strength, a leopard can haul prey weighing twice its own body mass high into the branches of a tree. Massive shoulder and neck muscles generate immense pulling power, allowing it to lift carcasses far beyond the reach of scavengers and rival predators. But in Ishasha, even the treetops are no longer safe. A lioness has arrived. Unlike the heavier males, lionesses are leaner, lighter, and far more agile. Weighing roughly 30% less than adult males, they possess a more flexible frame that allows them to climb with surprising ease. The leopard suddenly realizes its advantage has vanished. There is no hope of winning a direct confrontation. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything changes. Leopards possess some of the fastest neuromuscular reflexes in the entire cat family. Their nervous system can launch the body from complete stillness into explosive acceleration in only fractions of a second. Across Uganda's grasslands, another drama is unfolding. The breeding season has transformed peaceful meadows into fierce arenas of competition. Driven by surging testosterone, male Uganda kob become intensely territorial. Specialized scent glands along their legs and neck release powerful chemical signals, marking ownership and provoking rivals into violent contests. Fear is abandoned, pain becomes irrelevant. Every clash serves a single purpose: to earn the right to pass on their genes to the next generation. But while the males focus entirely on one another, another predator is watching. Nature has always favored the patient observer. A single moment of distraction is all a hunter needs. The lioness locks onto her chosen victim. She explodes from cover with overwhelming force. For the unfortunate cob, the struggle lasts only moments. In the wild, hesitation is costly. The hunt ends almost as quickly as it began. But every hunt tells a different story. If the chase begins too far away, the outcome can change completely. The moment the Uganda kobe senses danger, it becomes one of the fastest antelope in Africa, capable of reaching speeds of nearly 80 kilometers per hour and launching itself more than 2 meters into the air. It transforms the open savanna into an obstacle course for its pursuers. Instead of fleeing in a straight line, the kobe bursts into unpredictable zigzags and explosive leaps, forcing even the most experienced lions to constantly readjust their pursuit. More often than not, the hunter is left exhausted, and the prey escapes. Then the seasons change. With the arrival of the rains, Uganda is transformed. Within weeks, the dusty plains erupt into a sea of vibrant green. Fresh grasses surge from the fertile volcanic soil, growing so rapidly that they can reach an antelope's belly in little more than a week. Life returns with astonishing speed. Yet despite this extraordinary fertility, much of Uganda does not become dense forest. The reason lies with the continent's greatest landscape engineers, the African elephant. An adult elephant consumes up to 150 kilograms of vegetation every single day. As it feeds, it uproots shrubs, snaps young trees, and tears apart dense thickets. What appears to be destruction is, in reality, an act of renewal. By opening the forest canopy, elephants allow sunlight to reach the ground, creating ideal conditions for grasses to flourish. Studies have shown that where elephants thin dense woodland, grass diversity can increase dramatically within just a few months. Those grasslands, in turn, sustain immense herds of antelope, buffalo, and zebra, the foundation upon which every great predator depends. This is the season of abundance. Across the savanna, new life appears almost everywhere. Tiny newborns take their first uncertain steps beneath the watchful eyes of their mothers. But nature grants no holiday from survival. While the lionesses devote themselves to raising vulnerable cubs, hunting becomes a responsibility that increasingly falls to the pride's dominant male. Here in Uganda, fatherhood means far more than guarding territory. The male lion becomes both protector and teacher. He begins leading his growing sons into the field, introducing them to the complex art of the hunt. At around 1 year of age, young lions start accompanying adults, carefully observing every stalk, every charge, and every mistake. For now, they watch. Soon, they will learn by doing. The father's first lesson is simple. Bring the prey down before reaching for the throat. Every successful hunt begins with balance, timing, and control. Today's target is a young elephant. Although enormous, it lacks the experience and lightning-fast reactions of a fully grown adult. Working together, the pride exploits every weakness. Success brings an extraordinary reward. A young elephant weighing around 500 kilograms can provide enough food to sustain an entire pride for several days. But feeding the family is only part of the lesson. If these young males are ever to become pride leaders themselves, they must master far greater challenges. Only days later, another test awaits. Now approaching adulthood, the young lions prepare for one of Africa's most dangerous examinations. The African buffalo. Massive, fearless, and fiercely protective, it is among the most formidable opponents any predator can face. One well-placed sweep of its crescent-shaped horns is powerful enough to cripple or even kill a fully grown lion. Yet the risk is matched by the reward. A mature Cape buffalo can weigh close to 900 kilograms, enough to feed an entire pride for days. There is no greater proving ground. Only by facing such formidable prey can an apprentice hunter earn the experience needed to one day rule the savannah. In Uganda's sprawling wetlands, Cape buffalo gather in immense herds, forming living fortresses across the floodplains. Each animal is heavily built, fiercely defensive, and armed with sweeping horns capable of turning the hunter into the hunted in an instant. The lions know this all too well. Experience has taught them one unforgiving lesson: never give a buffalo the chance to face you. A single charge can shatter bones, and one well-placed sweep of those massive horns is enough to kill a lion. So the pride relies on patience instead of brute force. They spread out silently, surrounding the herd from every direction before slipping into the buffalo's blind spots. Every step is calculated, every movement coordinated. There is no rush. Patience is the lion's greatest weapon. Minute by minute, they wear down their chosen victim, draining its strength until resistance finally gives way. The hunt is over, but the feast has only just begun. The scent of fresh blood drifts across the savannah, carried on the wind like an irresistible invitation. Before long, the first scavenger arrives. The spotted hyena. Often misunderstood as little more than a scavenger, the spotted hyena is one of Africa's most formidable carnivores. Its crushing jaws are powerful enough to splinter solid bone, extracting nutrients that almost every other predator leaves behind. Even the toughest skeleton becomes a meal. The calcium-rich remains pass through an exceptionally efficient digestive system, leaving behind the hyena's unmistakable chalk-white droppings, a signature of an animal that wastes almost nothing. High above, another cleanup crew is already circling. Vultures. Their eyesight is among the sharpest in the animal kingdom, capable of detecting a carcass from more than a kilometer above the ground. But their greatest weapon lies inside. The acid within a vulture's stomach is powerful enough to destroy dangerous bacteria, including pathogens responsible for diseases such as anthrax and cholera, microorganisms that would prove deadly to most other animals. By rapidly consuming decaying carcasses, vultures perform one of nature's most vital services, helping prevent disease from spreading across the ecosystem. Every predator, every scavenger. While the pride is away hunting, one ambitious young male decides to test himself alone. A buffalo calf appears to be an easy opportunity. Confident that the prize belongs to him, he begins to feed. But he is not alone. Hidden just beneath the surface, another predator has been waiting. The Nile crocodile. It has gone weeks without a substantial meal. For a hungry crocodile, ownership means nothing. Only opportunity matters. With explosive speed, it lunges toward the carcass. The young lion immediately recognizes the danger. The Nile crocodile possesses the most powerful bite force of any living animal. This is not a battle worth fighting. Reluctantly, the lion abandons his prize. For the crocodile, stealing the meal is not an act of aggression. It is simply survival. Across Africa, countless encounters between crocodiles and terrestrial animals occur along the water's edge. Any movement near the shoreline has the potential to become prey. It makes little difference whether the victim is an antelope, a lion, or even a buffalo. For buffalo, water is both a sanctuary and a deadly trap. Mud wallows offer welcome relief from the relentless African heat, while coating the skin with a protective layer that helps repel biting insects. But comfort often comes at a price. During the rainy season, much of Ishasha's landscape is transformed into deep marshland. Only scattered patches of higher ground remain firm beneath the feet. The lions understand this perfectly. Rather than entering the unstable wetlands, they wait patiently from solid ground, watching as the buffalo venture into the thick mud below. If a buffalo escapes the jaws of a crocodile, another enemy still awaits. Lions. The untold story of Africa's true kings. long before the first rays of sunlight sweep across the African savanna, before zebras begin their endless migration, and before elephants carve fresh paths through the grasslands, the rulers of this kingdom are already awake. Hidden beneath the last shadows of night, golden eyes scan the darkness with unwavering focus. Every scent carried by the wind, every distant hoofbeat, and every movement in the tall grass could mean the difference between survival and starvation. This is the world of the African lion. For thousands of years, no other predator has inspired as much admiration or as much fear. Its roar can travel nearly 8 kilometers across the open plains, a thunderous declaration that echoes long before the animal itself is ever seen. Yet behind this legendary reputation lies a far more complex story. The lion is not simply a fearless hunter. It is a master strategist, a devoted parent, a relentless warrior, and above all, a survivor. Unlike almost every other member of the cat family, lions have abandoned the solitary life. Instead, they have chosen something far more powerful: family. A pride is not merely a group of lions. It is a highly organized society where every individual has a purpose. Experienced lionesses form the heart of the pride, hunting together, raising cubs together, and defending one another against constant threats. Years of cooperation have transformed them into one of the most efficient hunting teams on Earth. The males fulfill a different role. Their immense size is not built for speed, but for dominance. An adult male can weigh more than 250 kilograms, with massive shoulders and powerful forelimbs, capable of overpowering prey that would overwhelm almost any other predator. Yet their greatest battles are rarely fought for food. Instead, they fight for territory, for leadership, and for the future of the pride itself. Few predators understand the value of teamwork better than lions. A solitary hunter stands little chance against prey several times its own size, but a coordinated pride becomes one of nature's most formidable forces. Together, they can bring down Cape buffalo weighing nearly a ton, young giraffes towering above them, and on rare occasions, even juvenile elephants. Such victories are only possible through cooperation, precision, and extraordinary patience. Yet success is never guaranteed. For every hunt that ends with a meal, many more end in failure. Hours of careful stalking can be undone by a single careless footstep, a sudden shift in the wind, or one alert antelope raising its head. On the African savanna, perfection is rewarded with survival, while even the smallest mistake is punished with hunger. As the morning sun rises over the endless grasslands, thousands of herbivores spread across the plains, unaware that another day of life and death struggle has already begun. Hidden among the golden grasses, the lions remain almost invisible, conserving their strength and waiting with remarkable patience. Somewhere out there, one animal will make a single mistake, and when it does, the kingdom's true rulers will reveal themselves. As the sun climbs higher, the African savanna seems peaceful. Vast herds of zebra, wildebeest, and antelope spread across the open plains, taking advantage of the cool morning to feed. To an untrained eye, it is a landscape of calm. But hidden beneath the golden grass, another drama is quietly unfolding. Lionesses begin to move. Unlike their heavily built male counterparts, lionesses are lighter, faster, and remarkably agile. Every hunt depends on their speed, endurance, and above all, their ability to work together. Over countless generations, they have refined cooperation into an art form, making lions the only truly social cats on Earth. There is no leader barking commands. Every movement is guided by instinct and experience. A subtle glance, a shift in posture, or a slight flick of the tail is often enough to coordinate the entire pride. Each lioness understands her role long before the chase begins. One circles wide to cut off the escape route. Another melts into the tall grass ahead of the herd. The others remain hidden, patiently waiting for the perfect opportunity. The wind is just as important as the prey. A lion's sense of smell is excellent, but so is that of its victims. If the breeze carries even the faintest scent of a predator toward the herd, the hunt will be over before it begins. Every approach is planned with the wind in mind, allowing the hunters to remain invisible until the final seconds. Lion prides in Chobe National Park are masters of teamwork, with the agile and tenacious females taking the lead in hunts. Silently, they traverse the grasslands, using every shadow and the faint shimmer of moonlight to approach their prey within 50 to 100 feet. Each step is as light as a whisper, yet beneath their stealth lies compressed muscular power, ready to explode in an instant. Lions aim for critical points. With a bite force nearly double that of a male lion, hyenas are formidable adversaries, especially when united. Patient and calculated, they often wait for lions to finish part of their meal before advancing, or confront the pride head-on when necessary. This coldly efficient strategy often shifts the balance of power. In every encounter, the savanna's delicate equilibrium hangs in the balance. Lions wield immense individual strength, with adult males weighing nearly 3 times as much as the average hyena. However, hyenas counter with collective intelligence, operating like a finely tuned machine. When the ratio tips to 3 hyenas for every lion, victory often belongs to the hyenas. Yet larger lion prides with 10 or more members typically hold their ground, with a success rate of 65% in defending their kills. Even so, these battles leave scars, etched on bodies and remembered in instinct. They are not mere conflicts between two species, but the essence of ecological balance. Lions act as regulators, hunting buffalo, zebras, and impalas to keep herbivore populations in check. By targeting the weak, elderly, or injured, lion prides ensure these populations remain healthy and sustainable. However, when hyenas intervene, the balance shifts. Losing more than half their kills forces lions to hunt more frequently, increasing the pressure on herbivore populations, particularly during the dry season. Competition between lions and hyenas is not merely fierce, it is a driving force behind evolution. To survive in Chobe, lions have adapted by forming larger prides of 10 to 15 members, better equipped to defend their kills from hyena clans. However, this strategy comes at a cost. Larger prides require more food, and during extended dry seasons when resources are scarce, they face the looming threat of starvation. Hyenas, on the other hand, continuously refine their strategies. They no longer rely solely on overwhelming numbers, but have learned to coordinate their attacks with precision. Using their eerie calls to disrupt lion formations, they strike from multiple directions, sowing chaos. A 2024 study revealed that hyenas' success rates increase dramatically when their numbers are at least 3 times those of the lions. Far from being mere scavengers, hyenas are nature's recycling machines, efficiently consuming what lions leave behind, ensuring minimal waste in the ecosystem. The rivalry between these apex predators has far-reaching effects beyond their direct confrontations. Herbivores, ever vigilant, alter their behaviors to avoid high-risk zones, seeking safer grazing areas. Vegetation, in turn, benefits from controlled grazing pressure, allowing ecosystems to regenerate and flourish. This intricate web of interactions highlights how the relentless competition between lions and hyenas influences the survival strategies of countless species, while promoting the overall health and resilience of the savanna ecosystem. It is a testament to the interconnectedness of nature and the vital role competition plays in maintaining balance in the wild. There exists a place where time flows endlessly, a realm where the pulse of life beats in harmony with nature's rhythm, the Serengeti Mara ecosystem. Spanning across Tanzania and Kenya, it is the heart of wild East Africa. This land is more than a vibrant canvas of nature. It is a living story of life, death, and renewal, written in the rhythm of rain, the movement of herds, and the boundless expanse of its grasslands. The Serengeti Mara is not merely an ecosystem. It is a grand theater of existence. The annual migration brings millions of grazers, wildebeests, zebras, and gazelles, traversing the plains in search of fresh pastures. In their wake follow the predators, lions waiting in the tall grasses to ambush the weak or young, and hyenas trailing with their eerie laughter, ever ready to seize an opportunity. As the sun rises over the vast grasslands of the Masai Mara, its golden rays illuminate each blade of grass, heralding a new day of life and struggle. These plains transform into a battlefield where lions and spotted hyenas compete relentlessly for dominance over the resources brought by the Great Migration. The influx of millions of wildebeests and zebras turns the Mara into the epicenter of dramatic hunts and fierce confrontations. Lions, masters of ambush, use the tall grass as their ally. With raw power and precision, an adult lion, up to 420 pounds, can bring down a wildebeest with a single decisive pounce. In contrast, hyenas rely on endurance and strategy. With hearts disproportionately large for their size, hyenas possess incredible stamina, enabling them to pursue prey over long distances. Their numerical advantage and eerie, cacophonous calls create chaos within the herds, isolating the young or weak. Once a wildebeest falters, the hyena's trap closes swiftly, and the unfortunate prey becomes another thread in the intricate tapestry of the savanna's cycle of life. Here, in the Serengeti Mara, every creature plays a role in the endless drama of survival. However, the struggle for survival in the Masai Mara is far more intricate than a mere competition between lions and hyenas. The drama intensifies with the presence of nomadic lions, solitary wanderers who exist on the fringes of pride territories. These outcasts, unbound by allegiance to any pride, roam in search of new territory or a pride to claim. Their presence not only adds chaos to the ecosystem, but also disrupts the established order. These young male lions often attack established prides, overthrowing dominant elders and killing cubs to assert dominance. This brutal strategy, while natural, significantly reduces cub numbers and weakens prides for extended periods. As a result, pride members often disperse, leaving the territory vulnerable. The pride's weakened state enables hyenas to expand their influence, thriving in areas once dominated by lions. Hyenas quickly exploit the vacuum left by declining lion populations. Large clans, sometimes exceeding 50 individuals, take over critical hunting grounds and control access to vital water sources. Hyenas are not only efficient hunters, but also skilled scavengers, frequently overpowering smaller or weaker lions to steal their kills. However, they rarely hold the upper hand against strong lion prides with adult males, which effectively defend their territories and prey. Conflicts between the two often leave scars on the savanna, evidence of their relentless struggle. The dynamic between lions and hyenas is more than a clash of apex predators. It profoundly influences the balance of the entire Serengeti Mara ecosystem. As lion populations decline, the burgeoning hyena numbers place increased pressure on smaller herbivores, such as Thompson's gazelles. Overpredation on these species can lead to population crashes, disrupting vegetation regeneration and altering the ecosystem. Even migratory herds of wildebeest and zebras may change their routes to avoid areas of high hyena density, further destabilizing ecological cycles that have endured for millions of years. The competition between lions and hyenas is a crucial factor in maintaining the balance of the Masai Mara ecosystem. However, when one species gains overwhelming dominance, the equilibrium becomes vulnerable to disruption. A 2024 report revealed that rising hyena populations can reduce small herbivore numbers in a given area by up to 20% within 5 years. This decline not only impacts wildlife, but also transforms the landscape, as reduced grazing alters the structure and diversity of grasslands. Beneath East Africa's vast blue sky, stretching from Tanzania to Mozambique, the eastern Miombo forest stands as a vibrant, ancient world. More than just a forest, it is the heartbeat of the East African ecosystem, a complex yet harmonious web of life where diverse flora and fauna coexist. In northern Tanzania, the Ngorongoro crater resembles a natural necklace, encapsulating a world teeming with life. This ancient caldera, formed over 2 million years ago, spans approximately 100 square miles and sustains an extraordinary abundance of wildlife. Towering cliffs, over 2,000 feet high, encircle the crater, where the wind whispers over lush grasslands, narrating timeless stories of life. Viewed from above, the Ngorongoro crater resembles a sprawling oil painting, its vast grasslands interspersed with sparse forests and shimmering lakes. At the crater's heart lies Lake Magadi, a freshwater oasis that sparkles under the sun, attracting thousands of flamingos whose vivid pink plumage adds a burst of color to the scenery. The crater is home to over 25,000 large mammals, an astonishing density for such a confined space. Herds of wildebeest and zebras numbering in the thousands roam the green plains in search of food, their movements vital for the ecosystem. The trampling hooves of these animals churn the soil, aiding grass seed germination, while their dung enriches the land with nutrients. Elsewhere in the crater, immense buffalo, weighing up to 2,000 pounds, graze in large groups, serving as guardians of the grasslands. These massive herbivores maintain the ecosystem's balance by grazing regularly, all while staying vigilant against potential predators. Ngorongoro crater is renowned for its extraordinary predator density, hosting some of Africa's most formidable hunters. In the forests near the lake, Leopards stealthily navigate the branches, using their camouflage to ambush smaller prey. The crater also boasts the world's highest lion density, with an estimated 60 to 70 lions inhabiting this compact area. These apex predators patrol the grasslands, their piercing gaze fixed on herds of wildebeest and zebras. Male lions, distinguished by their dark, imposing manes, engage in fierce battles to defend their pride, while lionesses lead highly coordinated hunting expeditions, orchestrating dramatic chases that define the rhythm of life in the crater. Yet lions are not the sole rulers of this domain. Spotted hyenas, with their iconic, eerie laughter, shadow every hunt, awaiting the perfect moment to seize the spoils. Ngorongoro Crater, a vast caldera where low-lying grasslands, acacia xanthophyllia woodlands, and seasonal water bodies converge, serves as both a haven of abundance and a battleground of intense predator competition. Lions, with their superior strength and ambush tactics, dominate the ecosystem as both hunters and opportunistic scavengers. Uniquely, lions in the Ngorongoro Crater claim up to 71% of the prey hunt by hyenas. A pride led by powerful black-maned males can overpower even large hyena clans. Rather than relying solely on active hunting, lions leverage their brute strength to assert dominance. In contrast, hyenas excel in stamina and strategy. They use endurance hunting techniques to exhaust their prey, often migratory species like wildebeest or zebras, by encircling and weakening them before making the kill. However, even after a successful hunt, hyenas must defend their meal against the ever-present threat of lions. When challenged, hyenas employ defensive tactics, forming protective circles around their kill or vulnerable members of the clan. Their eerie calls summon reinforcements, while their characteristic laughter acts as both a communication tool and a psychological weapon, sowing confusion among rivals and fostering unity within their clan. Despite their resilience, the crater remains lion territory. Lions are responsible for 60 to 70% of adult hyena deaths within this ecosystem. A lion attack is swift and calculated, often targeting isolated or weakened hyenas. With precise tactics, lions strike critical points, swiftly subduing their prey. The competitive dynamic between lions and hyenas extends beyond a simple struggle for dominance. It is a driving force that shapes the structure of the Ngorongoro Crater's ecosystem. However, imbalances can occur. When lion populations rise too quickly, hyenas face increasing pressure, forcing them to adapt their hunting strategies or seek new territories. This interplay of predators underscores the fragile balance of life within the crater, where every roar, call, and step contributes to the unending struggle for survival in this vibrant yet fiercely contested environment. Nestled between the arid Namib Desert and the expansive savanna grasslands lies the Namibian savanna forest, a region of understated and unique beauty. This is not a dense forest as one might imagine, but a sweeping landscape of vast grasslands, punctuated by camelthorn trees that stand as solitary sentinels in the desert. Camelthorn trees, reaching heights of up to 65 feet, are the lifeblood of this region. Their roots penetrate as deep as 150 feet into the earth, tapping into scarce underground water reserves. Even during prolonged dry seasons, their silvery gray foliage remains vibrant, offering shelter and sustenance to countless animals. Scattered across the grasslands are dry riverbeds, such as the Hoanib and Kwiseb rivers, which flow only during the rainy season. Despite their arid appearance for much of the year, these riverbeds serve as vital lifelines. Lush vegetation thrives along their banks, attracting wildlife in search of food and refuge. The landscape is further shaped by low mountain ranges like the Brandberg, where rare patches of shade offer respite from the relentless heat. Here, desert-adapted lions, known for their patience and resilience, have evolved to survive extended periods without water, traits that distinguish them from lions in other regions. Across the dry grasslands, hyenas stealthily follow herds of plain zebras and oryx, biding their time. When the opportunity arises, they strike with relentless precision, shattering the fragile peace of this arid wilderness. In the heart of Namibia, where desert winds carry the heat of arid plains mingled with the faint fragrance of grasslands, Etosha National Park emerges as a precious gem of untamed wilderness. Spanning over 8,600 square miles, Etosha is more than a sanctuary. It is a microcosm of interconnected ecosystems, a symphony of life where each element contributes to a delicate and dynamic balance. This is a land of striking contrasts, where desolation meets abundance, and every creature battles for survival. At the heart of the park lies the Etosha Pan, a massive salt pan covering approximately 1,900 square miles. During the dry season, its surface turns stark white, shimmering under the blazing sun like a giant mirror. With the arrival of rains, this arid expanse transforms into a temporary lake, drawing thousands of flamingos whose vibrant pink plumage illuminates the landscape. This breathtaking transformation embodies the resilience of nature, continuously adapting to the harsh environment. Etosha is a natural stage, home to tens of thousands of wildlife, each species playing a vital role in maintaining the park's ecological harmony. Across the vast grasslands, plain zebras move like flowing rivers, their herds numbering in the thousands, creating a mesmerizing spectacle. Their hooves churn the soil, scattering seeds, while their dung enriches the land, fostering new growth. Dominating the park are the African elephants, the true giants of Etosha. Weighing up to 12,000 pounds, they traverse mopaine forests, breaking branches and carving new pathways. These silent architects of the ecosystem disperse seeds, shape the landscape, and ensure the survival of flora throughout the region. With a population of approximately 2,500, Etosha is one of southern Africa's premier refuges for these majestic creatures. The abundance of herbivores sustains Etosha's apex predators. Lions with their distinctive dark manes rule the nights, hunting under the cover of starlit skies. Boasting a population of 350 to 400 lions, Etosha is home to one of the highest lion densities in the world. Their thunderous roars reverberate across the grasslands, a proud declaration of their dominion over this remarkable wilderness. The Masai Mara, heart of East Africa, pulses with a steady rhythm, breathing life into its breathtaking landscapes. In this untamed land, towering termite mounds rise like ancient fortresses, standing amidst the grasslands, not just as natural formations, but as watchtowers for patient predators, their eyes locked onto the world below. Here, life is unveiled in every breath, every movement, each second holding the weight of survival. The Mara River carves through the plains like a deep scar, splitting the wilderness into two contrasting worlds. Its waters are more than just a lifeline. They are a battleground, where the line between survival and death is razor thin. Beneath its murky depths, the Nile crocodile waits, a silent assassin, honed by time, with an unrelenting grip and a strike as swift as fate. It crushes all in its path, in the blink of an eye. On the land, lionesses move with the poise of seasoned warriors, masters of the hunt, their every step commanding the savannah. No prey escapes the grasp of the king. Facing them, spotted hyenas gather in ruthless packs, both relentless hunters and nature's cleanup crew. Their eerie laughter echoes across the plains, a chilling challenge that unsettles even their own. Deep in the thickets, the elusive leopard lies in wait, a shadow of silent precision, its ambush executed with deadly grace. And across the vast open plains, the cheetah reigns, its legendary speed turning every chase into an unforgetting pursuit. In the realm of Africa's most formidable hunters, there is no mercy for the weak. Survival belongs only to those strong enough and cunning enough to endure. The expansive Greater Mara ecosystem is a vibrant tapestry of life, seamlessly connecting the Masai Mara National Reserve, the Mara Triangle, and surrounding conservancies. This area, ranging in elevation from 4,900 to over 7,120 feet, presents a multi-layered landscape sculpted by valleys, rivers, and gently rolling hills. The name Masai Mara originates from the Maasai community, nomadic people who have coexisted with this land for centuries. Mara, in their language, means spotted, a poetic reference to the landscape's appearance. Golden savanna grasses interspersed with shrubs and acacia trees, creating scattered patches of color across the endless plains, a unique African masterpiece. The Maasai people have not only lived here, but have also become intrinsically linked to nature, sustaining their nomadic lifestyle with livestock for generations. The Masai Mara is home to over 95 mammal species and 570 bird species. Savanna grasses, shrubs, and iconic acacia trees stand tall, symbolizing resilience amidst the vast African plains. But the Masai Mara is more than just a beautiful landscape. It is the domain of the Big Five: lion, African elephant, black rhino, leopard, and Cape buffalo. These majestic animals, once the targets of trophy hunting, now draw millions of admiring visitors from around the world. Beyond the Big Five, the Big Nine, which includes cheetah, giraffe, impala, and zebra, further enriches the Masai Mara's biodiversity. Beneath the sky, the Mara River winds its way through the savanna like a green ribbon, stretching 245 miles from its source in the Mau Escarpment, meandering through arid lands before flowing into Lake Victoria. The Mara River is the lifeblood of this wild terrain. The alluvial soils and the rich geological makeup of the Mara have given rise to a lush riverside ecosystem. This fertile soil nourishes towering acacia xanthophylla and ficus sycamorus trees, which stand as guardians, stabilizing the land and preventing erosion along the riverbanks. The Mara is not just a river, it is the lifeline and soul of the Masai Mara. Each moment tells a story of survival, transforming this land into a wild paradise where nature's heartbeat never ceases. In this narrative, the Nile crocodile emerges as the undisputed ruler of the Mara River's depths. This colossal predator is a legend in the wildlife world, capable of reaching lengths of up to 23 feet and weighing over 2,200 pounds. As formidable warriors of the aquatic realm, Nile crocodiles are perfectly adapted for precision and power, maintaining their status as the most feared hunters in these waters. According to the IUCN's 2024 report, the largest Nile crocodiles can grow up to 7 meters, about 23 feet, making them the second largest reptile species in the world, surpassed only by the saltwater crocodile. Each hunt is a masterclass in patience and unmatched strength. Under the blazing sun of the Masai Mara, Nile crocodiles are often seen lying motionless along the riverbanks, jaws agape like silent machines. From 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., they bask, absorbing sunlight to regulate their body temperature. When the water temperature drops below 86 degrees Fahrenheit and 30 degrees Celsius, these predators retreat to land, soaking up warmth to recharge for their next hunt. At night, as darkness cloaks the Mara River, the Nile crocodile awakens. Every muscle is wound tight, ready to strike with the precision of a coiled spring. Their four-chambered heart sliding into the water, they become apex predators, striking with swift and deadly accuracy. During the dry seasons, when food is scarce, Nile crocodiles conserve energy by remaining motionless under the sun. Their ectothermic metabolism allows them to survive for months without eating, relying on stored energy to sustain them. When a hunting opportunity arises, they seize it with unparalleled ferocity, swallowing prey up to half their body weight, a rare feast in these parched lands. Their ability to store fat enables them to endure the harshest months, turning each meal into a vital reserve for survival. In the Masai Mara, The Nile crocodile is more than a predator. It is a symbol of resilience, adaptability, and the raw power of nature. The Nile crocodile reigns as the apex predator of its habitat, dominating its territory with few rivals. But can it truly challenge a Cape buffalo, a massive herbivore that can weigh nearly 2,000 pounds? These formidable creatures move in herds, approaching the Mar River with a stately presence, their curved, sharp horns glinting under the sun. Despite the inherent threat posed by crocodiles, Cape buffalo are not easily subdued prey. With only about a 15% success rate when hunting buffalo, crocodiles face a daunting challenge. They often target calves or older, weaker buffalo that have strayed from the herd. However, Cape buffalo are fierce warriors. When ambushed by a crocodile, they don't simply flee. They turn and confront their attacker. Their horns, which can reach up to 89 inches in length, serve as a powerful defense, capable of forcing the crocodile to retreat and abandon its attack.
Standing on top of the
This
crocodile.
defensive strength creates a formidable barrier, reducing the crocodile's hunting success rate to just around 30%. The most intimidating aspect of the Cape buffalo is their sense of unity. If one member of the herd is attacked, the entire group often turns back to counterattack. Using their horns and collective strength, they drive the crocodile away. This response not only increases the survival chances of the attacked buffalo, but also forces the predator to withdraw to avoid injury. This collective power transforms the buffalo herd into an impenetrable fortress, a challenge no enemy can easily breach. Another challenging target for the Nile crocodile is the Maasai giraffe, the largest and most iconic giraffe species in the Masai Mara. These giraffes are also the tallest in the world, reaching heights of 18 to 20 feet on average. When a Maasai giraffe lowers its head to the Mara River to drink, it must splay its front legs wide and bring its head close to the ground, a vulnerable position that leaves it exposed to a sudden crocodile strike. As a result, Maasai giraffes remain constantly alert, dipping their heads to drink for only brief moments, typically between 15 and 30 seconds, to minimize risk. Even in this precarious position, the giraffe is not an easy target. Its powerful front legs can deliver formidable kicks, each generating a force of approximately 4,400 pounds, enough to break bones or cause severe injury to any predator that dares to get too close. Because of this, Nile crocodiles, despite their ferocity, often steer clear of adult giraffes, instead targeting younger or weaker individuals. Beyond their physical strength, Maasai giraffes possess exceptional vision and observational skills. Standing tall on their long legs like towering pillars, they scan the water and grasslands with sharp eyes, spotting predators from afar and giving them ample time to react before an attack begins. These defensive tactics make the Maasai giraffe one of the most vigilant and difficult prey to catch near the river. The Mara River a lifeline of the Masai Mara, is also home to one of Africa's most iconic giants, the African bush elephant. As a member of the Big Five and the largest land animal on Earth, these elephants stand up to 13 feet tall and can weigh as much as 15,000 pounds. With their iconic large ears, long tusks, and immense presence, African bush elephants are renowned for their intelligence, long memory, and complex social behaviors. According to a 2023 study published in the Wildlife Ecology Journal, these elephants can learn and remember migration routes, recognize individual members of their herd, and even express emotions such as joy when a new member is born or grief when one passes away. As herds of African bush elephants approach the banks of the Mara River, each step resonates with dominance. These giants claim the shallow waters, where Nile crocodiles, having waited in hunger for months, lie silent, poised for ambush. Yet, with their sheer strength and size, adult elephants are rarely the targets of these predators. However, desperation can sometimes drive a crocodile to act against all odds. It might latch onto an elephant's trunk or tail, the parts closest to the water surface. But this only turns the hunt into a tug of war, where victory inevitably belongs to the elephant. In cases where a crocodile targets a calf or a weakened older elephant, success remains highly unlikely. That's when the protective circle formed by the adult elephants becomes an impenetrable barrier. The females and larger individuals create a sturdy shield, ensuring the safety of the young in these dangerous waters. At the slightest hint of threat, they stomp their massive feet, wield their trunks like formidable weapons, and produce thunderous calls that echo far and wide, intimidating and driving the predator away. Thanks to the herd's tight-knit organization and strong protective instincts, the success rate of crocodile attacks on young elephants at the Mara River is less than 10%. This collective power compels crocodiles to retreat, ensuring that the Masai Mara remains a safe haven for future generations of these majestic creatures. The powerful strides of the African bush elephant do more than merely stir the ground around the Mara River. They reshape the landscape itself. As these colossal creatures tear through vegetation and dig into the earth in search of hidden water, they inadvertently create small pools and water channels. These actions function like nature's brushstrokes, enhancing biodiversity by forming new habitats for fish and other aquatic life. According to a 2024 study by the African Ecology Research Center, the water bodies crafted by elephants serve as ideal breeding grounds for Nile crocodiles, providing a safe environment for their eggs against predators. While the presence of elephants may not represent a direct symbiotic relationship, it establishes a subtle connection that quietly shapes the rhythm of the entire ecosystem. Unlike unpredictable prey, the Nile crocodile eagerly anticipates the grand feast that takes place each year from July to October. During this period, the Mara River transforms into a bustling corridor for the Great Migration, the largest movement of herbivores in Africa. Over 1.5 million wildebeest, accompanied by 300,000 zebras and hundreds of thousands of gazelles, leave Tanzania's Serengeti in search of fresh grass and clean water in the Masai Mara. Seasoned predators, the Nile crocodiles, lie in wait, concealed beneath the water surface as the massive herds gather anxiously along the riverbank. When the time comes to cross the fast-flowing waters, panic sets in and the crocodiles seize their opportunity. Mortality rates among the migrating herds can reach 10 to 15%, with many falling victim to the sudden, ruthless ambushes of these ancient reptiles. The crocodile's hunting strategy is simple yet devastatingly effective. Target the weakest prey amidst the chaos and dispatch it with precision. Once caught, the victim is subjected to the legendary death roll, a violent maneuver where the crocodile spins its entire body in the water like a powerful whirlpool. The force is enough to break bones and tear flesh, shredding even the largest prey into smaller, manageable pieces. Despite being solitary hunters, Nile crocodiles in the Masai Mara display remarkable cooperation when the situation demands. Once one initiates an attack, others quickly join, clamping their powerful jaws onto a struggling prey. They take turns spinning and tearing, reducing the carcass into shareable portions. In these frenzied moments, the river transforms into a gruesome banquet, showcasing the terrifying unity of these apex predators. With each meal, a single crocodile can consume up to 50 pounds of meat, storing enough energy to endure the lean months ahead. At the crossing points of the Mara River, Burchell zebras and blue wildebeest face their fate. Hundreds fall victim in this brutal battle for survival, and the river runs red, a stark reminder that only the strong and the lucky make it through. As the Mara River's currents surge, wildebeest plunge in with collective force and unyielding determination. Once the crossing point is identified, the herd storms forward like a relentless tide, their movements synchronized in a powerful surge. Often interspersed with the black and white striped zebras, the chaotic mix makes it difficult for crocodiles to single out a target. If a wildebeest is caught, those nearby immediately accelerate, increasing their speed and vigilance to distance themselves from the predator. Wildebeest also communicate through warning calls, alerting the herd to imminent danger and enhancing their collective survival. In these intense moments, the migration becomes more than just a mobile feast for the Nile crocodiles. It transforms into a formidable test of patience for the predators. Zebras, though fewer in number, serve as pioneers in the migration. They understand that the Mara River is a deadly arena, dominated by lurking crocodiles. Yet they do not cross alone. Instead, they rely on unity, waiting until their numbers swell before making the perilous journey together. This collective approach forms a moving wall of bodies, reducing the chances of any single zebra being singled out. The crossing is a shifting mosaic, each zebra blending into the herd, making it difficult for predators to strike with precision. Lead individuals often guide the way, carefully selecting the safest passage points. With their powerful legs, zebras navigate the shallows, sometimes even trampling over the predators lurking beneath. If one falls victim, the rest seize the moment to escape. Zebras further enhance their survival odds by merging with the vast wildebeest herds. When both species charge into the river together, they create a massive surging force that significantly decreases the likelihood of any single individual being taken by a crocodile's ambush. This relentless battle for survival is not just driven by instinct, but by unity. In the face of danger, zebras become warriors of the migration, forging ahead through the perilous waters of the Mara. Surviving the treacherous Mara River is only the beginning. In the harsh and unforgiving ecosystem of the Mara, other giants lie in wait, ready to strike at any prey that lets its guard down. Even the most fearsome predators are not immune. At times, hunters become the hunted. The relationship between Nile crocodiles and big cats like lions and leopards is one of cautious confrontation. When food is scarce, both are willing to steal from each other, leading to tense standoffs near the water's edge. These encounters are often a battle of intimidation, bared teeth, guttural growls, and calculated movements. However, when a significant size difference exists, posturing can quickly turn into a deadly pursuit. The lion, king of the savanna, reigns as the apex predator on land. Weighing up to 550 pounds, its most distinctive feature, the thick, dark mane, serves not only as a shield against the bites of rivals, but also as a symbol of strength and dominance. A lion pride is more than just a group of animals. It is a highly structured society, typically consisting of 10 to 15 members. Lionesses, slender yet powerful, are the primary hunters, working together with remarkable precision to bring down prey. Meanwhile, the males, though less involved in hunting, play a crucial role in defending the territory and protecting the pride from formidable threats, such as crocodiles and rival predators like hyenas. For lions, every confrontation is more than a test of strength. It is a display of pride, resilience, and survival instinct. And in the endless battle for dominance, only the most cunning and powerful endure. Beyond ungulates, the Nile crocodile also preys on primates like the olive baboon, also known as the Anubis baboon. These baboons live in complex groups called harems, which can number over 150 individuals, functioning like small societies with tightly knit structures. Dominant males lead the group, while females form strong alliances, ensuring the cohesion of the entire troop. The Mara River is both a vital source of life and a dangerous battleground for these primates. As the baboon troop approaches the water's edge, they remain highly alert. Sharp eyes scan every ripple, and ears are tuned to any unusual sounds. The males stand guard like sentinels, ready to sound the alarm at the first sign of trouble. When threatened, the olive baboon emits a loud, booming call that echoes across the riverbanks. The dominant males respond immediately, creating even louder noises and sometimes charging toward nearby areas to distract the predator, clearing a path for the troop to retreat. These tactics showcase not only their unity, but also their intelligent defense strategies. If cornered, baboons do not back down. Adult males can counterattack with their physical strength and agile combat skills. They might leap onto low branches to escape the crocodile's reach, or even throw stones at the predator from above. This behavior demonstrates that baboons are not merely prey. They are warriors of the wild, relying on collective strategy and intelligence to confront even the most formidable predator in the Mara. River birds living near the Mara River are not exempt from the Nile crocodile's menu, with the Egyptian goose being one of the most frequent targets. This bird species is relatively small, weighing between 3.3 to 5.5 pounds and measuring 25 to 29 inches in body length. When the Egyptian goose ventures toward the Mara River, Nile crocodiles, camouflaged and hidden beneath the water's surface, can strike suddenly. Some juvenile crocodiles use their tails to knock prey into the water, while others eliminate the goose with a swift, precise snap of their jaws. However, the Egyptian goose is not always a passive victim. As it approaches the water, it remains vigilant, raising its head after each sip and scanning its surroundings for danger. If it detects a threat, it immediately lets out a loud alarm call, alerting the entire flock. The powerful flapping of their wings creates a resonant sound, and the flock takes to the air together, executing a perfect escape from the predator's deadly strike. Under the scorching sun of the African savanna, where golden grass stretches to the horizon, a silent ambush is forming. Shadows creep low through the vegetation, clinging to the ground like invisible winds. A group of lions is lying in wait. His eyes are fixed on a group of zebras moving calmly nearby. For them, zebras are common targets, easy to spot, living in herds, herbivores, and lacking any form of ranged attack. In the eyes of the lionesses, she appears to be the perfect prey, but none of them imagine that this hunt is about to have an unexpected ending. That accurate shot with both hind legs. The lioness is stunned. She hadn't expected that prey like a zebra could react with such ferocity. When prey faces its predator, what determines its survival is not just strength or speed, but three fundamental pillars of survival behavior: instinct, reflex, and learning. These responses may occur in fractions of a second, but behind every run, every kick, or even a seemingly hopeless standstill lies the result of millions of years of refined evolution. Instinct, or more precisely instinctive behavior, is a sequence of actions encoded in genes. It doesn't need to be learned or practiced, and yet it is executed with precision every time. When a zebra kicks a lioness to clear a path and escape, that kick is not random. It is an innate motor pattern, a pre-programmed movement, activated by an innate release mechanism. These instinctive behaviors are rigid, inflexible, and always have a single objective: to survive. A reflex, on the other hand, is a short and immediate response, controlled by a neural reflex arc, with virtually no involvement of the cerebral cortex. It's the simplest type of behavior, yet incredibly effective. In insects like the grasshopper, for example, the collision avoidance mechanism is controlled by an independent nervous system. The kick of a zebra, which may seem insignificant compared to the sharp fangs of a lion, or the explosive leap of a cheetah, is actually one of the most efficient counterattacks among ungulates. And the most interesting thing is, he doesn't need to kill. He just needs to be precise and timely to turn the game around. Anatomically, zebras have an extremely well-developed musculoskeletal structure in the hip region. The muscles in the buttocks and thighs are among the strongest in the herbivore kingdom. The structure of the hooves is as hard as stone, with a small but highly resistant contact area. When attacked from behind, the zebra uses its two hind legs to deliver straight kicks backward or slightly angled kicks to the sides. Depending on the predator's position. According to a study on the equine genus, the force of a rear kick from an adult zebra can reach between 4,500 and 6,000 newtons. With that level of force, if the kick strikes the predator's skull, jaw, or ribs, the consequences can be devastating. Fractures, concussions, neurological damage, or even internal injuries, especially if the kick is accompanied by a twist of the body. There are field reports from researchers across the Serengeti and Masai Mara, describing lionesses found with fractured jaws and torn faces, the result of a single brutal kick from a zebra. Experienced hunters understand this danger. When you approach from behind, without controlling the distance, the risk of a violent counterstrike is enormous. But a kick is not just a reaction. It is instinct, sharpened by evolution and perfected through survival. A young zebra may miss its mark, but the impulse to defend is born with it. As it grows, it learns timing, precision, and a direction that offers its best chance to escape. Instinct and experience fused into one. In complex animals, primates, elephants, we see something more: the evolution of defense, learning, imitation, behavior shaped over generations. And in the wild, instinct, reflex, and learned behavior are never separate. They blend and respond as one. Across Africa, there is no strongest kick, only the most accurate, delivered at the perfect moment. Speed, force, technique, all dictated by anatomy, weight, and the life of the animal. A zebra kicks to escape, fast, reactive, violent enough to create a moment of freedom. But the giraffe, the tallest creature on Earth, strikes with a different kind of power, a force capable of killing with a single hit. Rising 5 to 6 meters tall, the giraffe moves across the savanna like a silent giant. Its patterned coat breaks the blazing African light, allowing it to disappear into open woodlands and dry plains. With a tongue nearly 45 centimeters long, it feeds on acacia trees, neutralizing toxins that stop other animals from doing the same. From Kenya to Tanzania to Botswana, these giants roam lands where visibility is vast and danger can be detected long before it arrives. But beneath that calm exterior lies one of the savanna's deadliest defenses. A single forward strike can unleash 2, even 3,000 newtons of force. Enough to break bone, enough to kill a lion if it lands on the head. Unlike the zebra's backward kick, the giraffe strikes sideways, a sudden, violent arc meant to clear a path instantly. With height as its shield and vision like a natural watchtower, the giraffe senses predators from hundreds of meters away. In one pursuit, between 2 lionesses and a full-grown giraffe, it took only seconds for one lioness to fall behind, outpaced and exhausted. A giraffe strike can be deadly. When the blow comes from the front hoof, in a vertical descent from top to bottom, it turns those stone-hard hooves into crushing weapons. If it hits the skull of a lion, a cheetah, or even a hyena, it can cause a skull fracture, a ruptured neck, or a cerebral hemorrhage, death within minutes. The rear kick, in turn, is used to drive off predators attacking from behind, with enough force to throw them several meters backward. A special detail: unlike the zebra, which kicks to escape, the giraffe kicks to kill, especially when defending its calf. There are field reports of lionesses killed with a single strike from a mother giraffe when they tried to approach from the side. Giraffe hooves, about 30 to 35 centimeters wide, with hard, sharp edges, don't just damage the point of impact. They can tear the abdomen, fracture the spine, or crush the lungs if they land on the side of the body. This behavior is instinctive, triggered by sudden physical proximity, a classic example of an innate release mechanism. Even lions, top predators, think twice before attacking an adult giraffe. To succeed, they must bring her down first, usually by leaping onto her back or hind thighs, because as long as the giraffe is standing, every blow is a lethal threat. But not all prey has the advantage of size. Most smaller ungulates lack the strength to fight back. They must find other ways to survive. An impala approaches to drink, but beneath the surface, a Nile crocodile strikes. Perhaps the predator is inexperienced, unable to fully submerge its prey. The impala remains stuck on the edge of the well. On one side, it struggles to break free, to run, but if it cannot, it keeps its body tense against the pole, avoiding the fatal plunge. When it feels the pressure of the bite loosen, it launches a powerful push and escapes the swamp. It would have been a perfect escape if a leopard hadn't appeared. With his stealth and precision, few animals escape his claws. But there is one prey that forces him to retreat and fail in humiliating fashion: the porcupine. The Cape porcupine is the largest rodent in Africa, weighing between 10 and 30 kilograms and measuring 60 to 80 centimeters. A robust body, short legs, and a broad head covered in thick black fur. But its true weapon is its armor of spines, a masterpiece of evolution, unique among savanna mammals. Its body carries thousands of keratin quills, ranging from 20 to over 35 centimeters, arranged in layers from neck to back and down to the tail. The shorter hairs at the front are dense and rigid. The long spines on the back are hollow, lightweight, yet incredibly strong. When threatened, the porcupine raises these quills. They clash together, producing a dry, metallic sound, a clear and undeniable warning to any predator. The porcupine's habitat extends across the savannas and dry forests of southern and eastern Africa, where the hard soil and rock formations offer ideal shelter. The porcupine is a nocturnal animal, feeding mainly on roots, tubers, fallen fruit tree bark, and occasionally gnawing on bones to supplement calcium, which strengthens its quills to the point of resembling miniature ivory tusks. Despite his slow gait, he is a true master of defense in the wild. When threatened, it doesn't run away. It turns its body around, raises all its spines, and shakes its tail. Its main natural predator is the leopard, a solitary hunter, famous for its patience and intelligence. During a hunt, a mother leopard carries her cub. Instinctive curiosity leads the young male to approach, but the porcupine does not run away. It's a clear warning. The puppy gets scared. The more experienced mother tries to manage the situation, but the result isn't much better. This behavior is instinctive, but it also has reflexive elements. When it senses pressure or physical contact, the porcupine's nervous system responds quickly, raising its quills and slapping its tail. In the end, the leopard finds herself sitting, pulling out thorns one by one, irritated and in pain. There are many records of lions and leopards that died days later due to infections caused by injuries. Thus, after the thorny confrontation, the savanna returns to its calm. Under the sparse shade of the acacia trees, a group of lions rests. Their golden bodies gleam in the twilight, intertwined with the dry grass. The dust rises slightly in the wind, carrying the scent of skin, sweat, and power. But at the center of that circle of dominance, there is something strange, small, rounded, with metallic reflections. A sphere made of compact scales, as if assembled piece by piece. While porcupine quills leave soft patches exposed, pangolins perfectly seal the gaps. The African pangolin, or Temminck's ground pangolin, is an insectivorous mammal, typical of the savannas and open woodlands from southern Africa to Tanzania. Its body measures between 80 and 100 centimeters, weighing between 12 and 15 kilograms, completely covered by scales 4 to 5 millimeters thick. The same material as human fingernails, but much harder and more resistant. The scales overlap like samurai armor, connected by a flexible skin, allowing both protection and mobility to completely roll up into a defensive sphere. When threatened, the pangolin retracts its head, contracts its back muscles, and closes its body. All vulnerable points disappear. It is an ancestral defense mechanism that has protected it for over 40 million years, with virtually no evolutionary changes. Unlike carnivores, the pangolin is a solitary and exclusively nocturnal creature. It uses its long tongue, which can exceed 40 centimeters, more than half the length of its body, to capture ants and termites in their underground nests. An adult consumes an average of 70 million insects per year, helping to control termite populations and protect savanna vegetation. Its front legs are strong, with curved claws for digging, and its scales prevent direct contact between the insects. Defensive acids and its skin. When moving, the pangolin typically arches its back and walks on its hind legs, swaying gently as if carrying a living suit of armor. Faced with the claws of a lion, its scales display all their power. No claw can penetrate them. In the first few minutes, the hunting instinct prevails, but patience begins to run out. The pangolin remains motionless, curled up like a living rock. Their strength lies not in attack, but in absolute immobility. When the predator finally gives up, it slowly unfurls its scales, stretches its neck, and walks away in calm steps, leaving small footprints on the sand. The pangolin's armor is a masterpiece of evolution, but also its limit. It protects him from any predator, but it makes him defenseless against humans, who can simply lift him, turning this natural defense into a valuable commodity on the black market. The perfection of his defense tragically became his vulnerability in the modern world. In the natural world, survival does not depend solely on physical strength, but on a combination of inherited instinct, nervous reflex, and learned behavior. The defense mechanisms of kicking and swatting spears are tools that nature has provided to maintain the ever-dynamic balance between hunter and prey. And that's precisely what makes nature a sage that is both brutal and incredibly fair. In the previous part, we witnessed the tense confrontation between lions and zebras. The attempt at help between two zebras showed that although they live in large herds, their defense system is not always able to take advantage of this number effectively. In this section, we will explore animals that not only rely on speed or camouflage to survive, but that have mastered the art of uniting and acting as a true collective machine. The African buffalo is the ultimate master of group defense. The African buffalo is one of the most dangerous ocelots on the continent. An adult individual can weigh from 500 to over 900 kilograms, with a muscular and imposing body like black rocks in motion. Its strength is so great that it can launch an adult lion into the air with a single blow, causing serious injuries. Its most lethal weapon is its curved horns, which extend to the sides and then curve upwards like sharp blades. In males, the base of the horns fuses into a thick, bony structure called a boss, a veritable protective armor over the forehead, transforming them into living fortresses. The thick, tough hide of buffalo acts as a natural armor, making the claws and fangs of lions less effective. But even more frightening than that is its unpredictable and aggressive temperament. Unlike its domesticated relatives, such as the water buffalo, the African buffalo retains a wild and primitive instinct. He fears neither humans nor lions, and above all, he never gives up. Therefore, in most hunts, lions only have a real chance when they attack the entire pride as a group and when the target is an isolated buffalo. Apart from that, any attempt could end in disaster. When the buffaloes advance together, it's like an army on the march, strong, united, and ready to fight to the end. Since buffalo hide is difficult to pierce immediately, lionesses, responsible for hunting, usually attack from behind. A well-aimed strike can throw the prey off balance and create an opportunity to bring it down. But the plan doesn't always go as expected. Upon perceiving danger, the buffalo does not run into the woods. It runs back to its herd. The reinforcement is certain. The only question remaining is whether it will arrive on time. In seconds, the roles are reversed. The lions try to continue the chase when the herd moves away, but are surprised by sharp horns, ready to block their path. In another situation, when attacking a cub, lions trigger another powerful instinct, the maternal instinct. The mother's reaction ignites a flame of solidarity throughout the entire group. In buffalo, these reactions are strengthened by collective learning, where individuals learn from the group, and the group responds as one.